Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay. Sorry for being late from my side. Sorry for being late from my side. The thing is that there is some internet error is there, so therefore I was not able to attend you. So in our previous class, we had a what have our discussion in our previous class regarding performance appraisals. I think so. We completed performance appraisal. I am asking all the students that we have completed performance appraisals or we have only covered the modern method of performance appraisals. Student, just write down the message so that I can able to understand. Yeah. In your previous class, we had our discussion relating to the performance appraisals. I think so.
Yes, ma'am. We had discussed up to the method of
Not.
forced choice rating
I think
method.
that I have not completed all the method. I have only go through the traditional method of performance appraisals. I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
so.
Only traditional method up to forced choice rating method.
Very good. Okay. So up to fourth choice, your rating method we have completed, and we left the modern method of performance appraisals. Okay. So here
Yes,
we
ma'am.
are here to go relating to the modern method of performance appraisal. So relating, I am just asking you the relating to the traditional method of performance appraisals. Do you have any doubt or not? Any doubt relating to any method? Have you any doubt or not? You have any doubt? Any doubt? Then ask. Otherwise, I will proceed. Yeah, student. No doubt.
Ma'am,
Uh,
in traditional method of performance appraisal, another five are there. Group
Another.
appraisal, no, ma'am. Five
Yeah, yeah,
remaining
you
you have
can
not
ask
told.
me. You can also ask me in Hindi, or if you have any type of problems. Okay. What is the what your problem in traditional method?
मैम ट्रेडिशनल मेथड में और पांच बाकी है
I
लाइक
know,
ग्रुप
I know.
अप्रेजल
What
नॉमिनेशन
what I am asking you, what I have covered, do you have any doubt? The
नो
courses that we have covered,
नो मैम आई डोंट हैव एनी डाउट
you don't have. Any other students having any doubt? No? Clear. I think that today's student strength is too good. Okay. So now these are the method of that is the graphing scale we have completed. The ranking method we have also completed. The force distributions method we have completed. For choice ranking method we have completed. Group appraisals method we have completed. Nomination is not so important in performance appraisals. So work sample state, this is I think that I had not covered the work sample state on that day. Okay. So starting from work sample states. So before I am proceeding to the work sample state, I must tell you that here uh, I must tell you on that day that relating to your come to this point, uh, the steps, then the methods. Okay, the graph in the graphing scale, what happened? There is a graph is there. Some quantitative and the qualitative questionnaires are designed there, and the performance are plotting inside the graph, like that of the poor, like that of your average, like that of good, like that of excellent, etc. And the persons are plotting inside the graph, and in conclusions, the performance of the employee are to be evaluated. So this is called as that the graphic scale. Then the next one is the post distributions method. In post distributions method, what happened? Out of 100 employee, we have to we have the sole duty to what to make the 20% in a group, 30% in another group, like that of we have make a parameter of the average, better, best, poor, and the poorest. So we have to we are forced to group 20% in the poorest group, 30% in the poorer group, average group, or better group, or the best group. So out of the five parameter, so we are forced to group every employee inside the group. That is called as the post distribution method. In the critical incident method, just I make a review of the what I have already done. Then after I will proceed. In the critical method, critical incidents method, what happened? The persons, two things are taken. One is called as the strength, and second one is called as an incident. One is called as a strength, and second one is called as a weakness. Like that of what happened, any type of incidents that was taken place during the previous year. Take one example is that the production has been increased in a company. Okay, so relating to the increase of the productions, did the employee has any type of contributions relating to the productions or not? Okay, so what was the strength that he has given to the company? What was the weakness that he has given to the company? So relating to this, that comes under the critical incidence method. Clear? Then the next one is called as the forced choice ranking method. In the forced choice making method, in your forced choice rating method, what happened? There is called as that the two type of the questions are there. One is called as the open ended, and second is the close ended. In the close ended questions, what happen? Only the employee has to ask whether the behavior of the employee is the good or bad. Then the manager is there, so that he has forced to take only the bad or the good. He has no other option or no other alternative to put any type of the good marks or the bad marks. So this is called as that the close-ended question. So this is called the forced choice rating method. In the next one is called as the group appraisals method. In the group appraisals method, what happened? Appraiser group consists of the 3 or the 4 persons, including the immediate supervisors, who give their opinion collectively. Assistance from other also could be taken to cover aspect of employee performance and personality which may not be noted by the immediate supervisor. For just assessment, members approached for appraisal must be people who have some contact with the subject. Just like take one example is that just like you are facing an interview, and in an interview what happened, there are 4 and the 5 members are experts are there, and they are from the different type of the background. One example is that I am telling you. Just during the time of your after completions of your IGNO, whenever you are appearing the interview, so at that time what happened, the persons from your technical background, the persons from your the managerial background, the persons from your financial background. So there are different type of the persons that are coming, and they are asking you different questions relating to relating to the subject that you know. So this is called as that the group appraisal. Means what? One person could not appraise you, but the number of the persons are there that can be Okay, so this is called as the group appraisals method. Suppose the persons coming from the politics, the persons coming from the geography, the persons coming from the economics, the 4 and the 5 members are there, and they are evaluating you from the different parameters. Suppose geography questions coming to you, some mathematical questions are coming to you, by which what happened, the person's nomenclatures can be easily evaluated by the expert. So this is called as the your appraisals method. Then the next one is called as the nominations. In this method, the appraisers are asked to identify exceptionally good and exceptionally poor performance in the organizations. The latter group is singled out for collectives. Both groups are studied, for example, academic knowledge about organizational climate and specific drivers of efficiency. Academic inquiry into poor performance is also necessary. So this is nothing. Just like is your critical incidents, the nomination method is the same one. In this method, what happened? The appraiser means what? The person who is appraising you. So the appraiser has to identify the two things. One is the your strength, and second one is the your weakness. Okay, so I can also say that this is the strength, and second one is the drawbacks of from your side. The person is there who has to identify the both side of you, and by your performance they will be evaluating whether they will give you a promotion, otherwise they will give you demotion. So this is called as the nomination. Then next one is called as that any student, any doubt? Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Clear? Then the next one is called as the work sample test. What do you mean by the work sample test? In this method, the workers are administered work sample test, which from the basis of their assessment, which they are evaluated. Just one example is that in the, for a science student, we are having what the practical examination is there. So the practical examination, the schedule and the schedule and the event of the your practical examinations was already declared before that. Okay, well, when it will be happen, it was already declared, and the students having the knowledge that when the practical examination will be held. But here what happened, the sample test is a surprising type of the test, and in that test the performance of the employee has been counted. Just like in your exam, in your classes, what happened sometimes when the teacher is not prepared, when the teacher is not prepared and entering inside the class, just like a surprise test was given, what already the teacher has what the completed, depending upon the completions of the lessons, the teacher is asking you, or the teacher is giving you the number of the questions, and depending upon the questions, your performance has been evaluated. So that is called as the work sample test. So depending upon the work, a sample test was taken, and by this what happened, the performance of the employee has been evaluated. Then the next one is called as the result oriented performance appraisal system. This means what? This technique evaluates the extent of attainment of target in the context of overall objective to ascertain the merit of the personal value additions on the part of an individual employee is considered, which is attempted to be quantified. This means what? In every organizations, there are two type of objective. One is called as the target objective, and second one is the actual objective. What do you mean by the target objective? The target objective means what? The expected objective of an organizations that an employee has to be performed. Okay, it means what? Take one example I am giving you, that whenever you are a sales manager in a company, so your superior boss giving you that you have to sell the quantity of these things 100 unit per a month. Okay, so due to some problems arise, so by this purpose what happened, actually your actual selling is what, 80. Okay, not 100. It means that the company is bearing a loss of the 20%. Okay, so here what happened, on the basis of your performance, the company is evaluating whether he has to placing you in the poor category, average, or maybe the good category. So this is called as the result oriented performance appraisal system. Okay, there are two types of things. The one is called as that the target, and second one is called as the actual. So whenever you are joining in a company, the targeted your objective has to be informed to you that your target is this and this and this. In a particular type of the month, the appraiser is taking into notice that your performance is not 100%, but it is 80 or 30 or whatever maybe. So it can be calculated that you are going in a loss or you are going in a profit. So by this purpose what happened, your appraisals, you can be placed in the appraisal list, whether you in a good or in a bad or in a average or in a bad, in a best. So this is called as that depending upon your result, on the performance of your result, you are plotting in any type of parameter. So this is called as that the result oriented performance appraisal system. The next one is called as that the annual confidential reports. Just like one annual confidential report. So this is nothing but you can say that the annual confidential method means what? It was generally maintained not in private organizations, but it is generally maintained in the governmental type of the organizations, like that of your what the ITI, like that of your different type of IITs, different type of governmental school and governmental colleges. So here what happened, the annual confidential report having the 14 items. If you are having your pen, just write down the items so that you can easily understand about the annual confidential report. Having your pen, just write down. Okay, so students, in the annual confidential report, there are the 14 items are there, like that of attendance. Clear? Write down the attendance, self expressions, ability to work with others, the leadership quality, initiative, then technical ability, then ability to understand new material, ability to reason, then originality and resourcefulness, then areas of work. Clear? Then judgment, then integrity, then responsibility, then defect. Okay, so these all are How many types? There are the 14 types. Clear? I am again repeating. In any type of the governmental reports or the annual confidential reports are always basing upon the 14 items. It can be followed not in the private organization, but basically and meticulously it was followed by the government type of organizations. In the government type of organization, the 14 items are like that of attendance. Attendance means what? It is the parameter by which the regularity of an employee has been checked. Okay, the employee performance is good, the employee performance is good, but the thing is that the attendance of the employee is not good. It means that he is not regular, he is not punctual, he is not attending the college or maybe the institutions regularly, but the quality, the performance of the employee is the good. So this is called as what? This is called as the attendance. Then the second one is called as the self-expression. Self-expressions is nothing, but it can be evaluated to the written and the oral quality of the employee. Written and oral means what? There are the two things has been here, that there is two things has been given importance. One is that whatever you think, whatever you understand, whatever you want to communicate, it should be betterly intimated by the persons to other. Take one example is that the English is not the criteria. You can also speak the Hindi and the English, but whatever the subject you want to whatever the subject you want to comprehend the others, the other most understood about the things that you want to do. So this is called as nothing, that is called as a self-expression. Self-expression is in both way. The second is called as that the written and the oral. Take one example is here. Some teachers are there, they're good in student, but they are not good in just like as the teacher, because every student should not having, they know the good vocabulary, but the thing is that they have no they have that much, they have not that type of the traits and that type of knowledge that they can be easily understood the thing that they want to what they preach. So this is called to intend to say, the other must understand. So this is called as the self-expression. Then third one is called as the ability to work with others. So this thing is here because sometimes what happens, the performance of an employee can be increased if the employee can do the work with a team. Okay, the team means what? The peer workers, the colleagues, someone, the line managers. So these are called as which one? This is called as the third thing, that is called the ability to work with others. If there is a type of the negative behavior that has been spread in between the employee, then the performance cannot be what the progress. So for this purpose, this is the third parameter here in the confidential report. The fourth one is called as the leadership. So every employee should have been given the enough chances by which the leadership quality can be increased. Okay, leadership means what? The person who can lead the group and the person who can initiate, lead, and influence the other one to do more and more for the organization. Then the fifth one is called as the initiative. Initiative here means what? Sometimes the person is always influential, but he is not doing any type of initiative work. Initiative means what? Some new work that has been implemented inside the organization. That is called as the initiation. Initiation means प्रचेष्टा, खुद शुरू करना. That is called as initiation. पहले करना. Then sixth one is called as the technical ability. The person is sound in the academic, but the person is not sound in a technical your situations, then what will happen? There is a great loss for the organization. So the person should be sound not only in the academic but also in the technical sense. This is called as the technical ability. Technical ability in this sense, just like is the knowledge of the computer, knowledge of different type of software systems, knowledge of how to download the PDF, how to send the PDF, how to join a WhatsApp, what to join. So these are called as the technical ability. So this is a major aspect or the major parameter for evaluating the performance appraisals. The next one is called as the ability to understand, the understand new material. Sometimes what happen inside an organizations, some new materials has been introduced, so the persons that much of knowledge should be there that he can easily understood the new material. Take one example is that that initially the whatever you taught in a class, that you have to recorded everything in a hard copy like that of a register or anything else. But nowadays this was not happen. So your performance that has been recorded in a computer, you have to make a PDF, or maybe some your what a file will be prepared by you, and you have to install by it should be installed by your name, and you can be placed during the time of your performance appraisal. So this is nothing, this is called as that the ability to understand the new material. It means that you have to welcome the new design or the new things that has been introduced by the government. These things are there. Then the ability to reasons anything. Ability to reason means what? The judgmental quality. It means that whatever has been introduced, that you should know about the good things and also the bad thing. That is the ability to reason, ability to things. Then the originality and resourcefulness. Everything should have been you have to start this everything with your originality. Then area of work that suits the suits the area of work that suit the sort and the person's best. Then the next one is called as that the integrity, then the responsibility and defect. These all things are the 14 parameters that are coming under the confidential report. So relating upon the 14 parameter, the person's performance has been evaluated. This is called as the confidential report. The main thing of the confidential reports is that the appraiser evaluating you, but you don't have any type of knowledge, that they have placed you on the poor, the better, the average, the good, or the best. So this is called as, therefore it is called as a confidential report, because they have a what? They have a check on you. They are supervising you. They have a surgical you're checking on you, but you don't have any type of knowledge that they are doing this. On the end of the day, they are giving you they are giving the result depending upon the performance. So this is called as that the performance appraisal. Students, any doubt? Any doubt? हाँ, मुझे लग रहा है मैं अपने आप को पढ़ा रही हूँ, और कोई डाउट है या स्पीड हो रहा है, आप बताओ. धरश्री महापात्र,
Yes, ma'am.
any doubt?
No, ma'am.
You have written every point that I have dictated.
Yes, ma'am. I have written
How many points are there?
14.
Very good. So these all are coming under which method?
Annual confidential report.
Very good. Okay. Then the next point is that here. Then the next point is that the evaluation of the traditional method. So you nothing has to write here. The evaluation of in the evaluation of traditional method, just you have to write 4 and the 5 points like that. Here, one thing is that in IGNO material, there are many other methods are there, just like it SI methods, your the cost accounting method, but they have not given this type of method. So I also I am not here to upgrading this type of the method. Just like the write down about the main defects of the traditional method. Just you have to write that point number one is that in the traditional method, as it is totally traditional, depending upon what the what not speed performance, but it is very slow. So therefore the traditional method has been modified to the modern one, like that of here. The performance is not evaluated in terms of its impact on organizational objective, goals, and target. It focuses on attention on the personality. All the method, take one example is that the every parameter is taken by the characteristics and by the objective of an individual, not by the goals and not by the objective of the organization. So this is what this may be called the traditional method. There is many loopholes are there. The second thing is that the performance is very slow. The method of performance is very slow in the traditional method. So modern methods has been introduced. The third thing is that whatever like that of your what Rilo, one minute. So like that of many problems are there in the traditional method. So modern methods has been introduced. So what are the main points of the modern method? Okay. So modern method first coming under the MBO. MBO means power, that is called as the management by objective. So for MBO, you have to write 3 or 4 lines. This is the most important method. Okay. So MBO means what? This concept was first developed by the Peter F. Drucker. Just write down. It has not been written here. So this method was first introduced by Peter F. Drucker in the year of 1954. Okay, in his book that is called as the practice of management. Okay, in his book that is called as practice of management, here he has first introduced the thing that is called as the management by objective. So in this method he has reflected the management policy which values and utilize the employees contributions. Okay, and he says that in order to implementing the MBO, there are 4 steps that we have to introduce. The first thing is that to establish the goals each employee, each subordinate is to attain. In some organizations, there are many things are there. First of all, in order to the organization has to establish one goal, and every subordinates has to attain the goal. The second thing is that the performance, it involves the setting the performance standard for the subordinates. There are 2 things are there. After your joining, that the organizations has to establish what the goals, and every employee has to try to attain the goal. That is called as the setting the performance of an employee. The third thing is that the organization, the employee, the supervisor has to compare the actual performance of the employee with the targeted performance. And the fourth thing is that if there is any type of new goals, new strategy, new things are there, then the supervisor is that he has to introduce these things. So this is called as the management by objective. Okay, so it has been nothing in your IGNO syllabus. It has not written anything else, but the 4 point you have to record it, or the 4 point you have to write down. The one thing is that the first of all, every organization should have a bundle of goals and bundle of policies, and the subordinate it always try to attain the bundle of policy and the bundle of your the goals. The second thing is that the performance standard of there are 2 type of performance: the actual performance and the targeted performance. And organization has to set the targeted performance, and the actual performance of the employee is compared with the targeted performance, so that the employee performance can be easily evaluated. Then the third is that what the and the fourth is that if any type of the new goals, new your initiative, new creativity has been arised, then it should be introduced inside the organization. This is called as the MBO, management by objective. So it was declared by Peter F. Drucker in the year of 1954, and this one is the best thing is that. But here in your IGNO syllabus, it has nothing has been written. Just like is the determination of result, it was very lengthy. Your recording observations, whatever maybe the observation is there, the appraiser records the performance of every these things. About the MBO method has been best. It was written bestly by your Ashwathapa book, MBO by your management by objective. That is Ashwathapa. It was a good book for MBO objective. Clear. Then the next method is called is that uh, performance appraisal of public service in India. This is not important. Then coming under, so this all about your performance appraisal. So it is also not important. Your no conclusion has been arrived. Okay, so we have to jump in the next chapter. That may be what the next unit. What is the name of the other unit? Any student having any doubt in the modern method? Any doubt, student? Because we have to complete the whole syllabus. Okay. नेक्स्ट चैप्टर को गलु टिके बेक करे କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ନାହିଁ ବେକ୍ କରେ Okay. This is the unit 9. Is it visible, students? Is it visible? Unit 9, employee benefits. Okay. Can anyone say that an employee can get what are the different type of benefits that an employee has get after you joining an organization? What are the different type of benefit that an employee got? What are the different type of benefits? Anyone? Uh-huh. You don't know?
Ma'am, transportation, medical allowance, retirement benefits.
Hmm? Do you think that retirement benefit is here now? No
Mm,
retirement like that. A
no
pension
retirement.
benefit was not
Madam,
here.
now there is new pension scheme,
Okay, what are they? NP.
new NPS,
Yes.
where
So like that.
we
Okay.
invest some money and government give us with interest in return after our
Okay, Nikki
retirement.
Behra, you are from Barampur.
Yes, ma'am.
I think SBR. You are a student of SBR.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. By seeing you in your uniform, I make an intuition that you are the student of your SBR.
No, ma'am. I did my plus two in SBR college, but I did my graduation in Binayak Acharya college.
But then you are opting to, you are now in a job.
Yes, ma'am. On job.
Where?
Court, district judiciary. I mean, I'm working as Group C cadre in Group C cadre.
Okay, you know me.
Sorry, ma'am, I couldn't recognize you.
Okay. If you are a student of Kollywood College, then you can easily recognize me.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Kollywood not college, university. Okay.
Oh,
So
oh, yes,
here
ma'am.
it has been written, there are different type of benefits are there for the employee. Just write down conditions. This is college. Employee benefits. Okay. Acha. What do you mean by the employee benefits? Okay, just one thing you have to write down. The employee benefits and services may include any benefit that the employee receive in addition to direct remuneration, that is called as the employee benefits. Just like you are getting a salary, and in addition to your salary, any type of benefits that an company is providing you, that is called as the employee benefits. Clear? Okay, so it is nothing but it is called any benefit and services, not only the monetary thing, but also sometimes the material and the physical services that an company is giving you, that coming under which one, that is called as that the your employee benefits. Okay, so any benefit and services which you get in addition to your remuneration, that is called as which one, that is called as that the your employee benefits. Okay, so here employee benefits, what are the there are different type of thing why benefits and services are given to an employee. Just you have to write down. And so after joining, these are the meanings are there. So why you are getting many benefits are there, because nearly every organization in our country, they are providing you the benefits because you are an employee of that organization, or you are on the services. So these benefits, because of these benefits, you can increase, or you can increase your encouragement, you can having the keenness to do the job. Just like in the private organizations, if they are not providing any type of benefits to you, then the employee having no keenness to join there. So in order to increase, or in order to awaken your encouragement or keenness towards the organization, the type of the benefits that the organization is providing you. So just like is that they are increasing the encouragement from an employee side. So there are different type of indirect remunerations that a company is giving to you, like that of your mitigate fatigue, like that of discourage labor unrest, like that of satisfy employee the objectives, like that of aid recruitment, like that of reduce turnover, like that of minimize overtime cost. Okay, so five things are there for these purposes. The employees are taken the what, the type of the your benefits. First of all, what, to in order to mitigate the fatigue. So if you are doing a particular your work and some incentive is given to you, then you cannot having that type of thing that I was in a period of fatigue. So suppose take one example there. Suppose you are in a company and sometimes what happen, you are doing your duty in the Sunday. Okay, so if you are doing a duty, what happen, so you are what, you are having your the in the your condition of the 40. So sometimes what happen, an extra leave was given to you. So for these purposes, what happen, then an employee can feel what, the relax. So this is called as the mitigate the fatigue. The second one is what, the discourage the labor unrest. Labor unrest means what, they sometimes what happen, if the company is not giving any type of your benefits, then always what happened, the employees, they are going to the unions and they are giving their approaches to the union, and they are coming to the unrest in the form of what, the strike, in the form of your what, different dharana, your shanti dharana, your violence things. So these things are coming on, that is called as labor unrest. So if you are giving your compensation, some incentives, some remunerations with a very time interval, then there is no chances of different type of the unrest, labor unrest. The third thing is that the satisfying the employee objective. So this is also good, like that of after completion of 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, sometimes what happens, some benefits are given to the employee, just like what, in some institute or in some companies are there, just an employee after completions of 10 years or 15 years, they are announcing you that they are providing 10,000 or 50,000 more in additions to your salary. So this is what, this is called as that it will satisfy what, the employee's objective. The employee is not in there that he is thinking to switch the job and to join in another job. If your company is giving that much of incentive to you, that you have no other chances or no other alternative to quit the company and to join the other job. Then the next one is called the reduce the turnover. Turnover means what, turnover means sometimes what happen, we are retrenching or we are quit the organization and other the, just like turnover का मतलब होता है employee को कम करना बस छोड़ के चले जाना. So here what happened, there is no chances of employee turnover because due to the lucrative incentive, the employee are not having any other chances to quit the organizations or to exit the organizations. Then the minimize the overtime cost. So overtime cost का मतलब क्या होता है, जैसे कभी कभार हमारा क्या होता है, हम 6 घंटे से बदले से 8 घंटा हम काम कर दिए, तो 2 घंटे का जो टाइम कॉस्ट होता है वो इंसेंटिव से उन लोगों ने क्या करते हैं, कॉम्पेंसेट करते हैं. सो दिस इज ओनली बाय दिस थिंग्स व्हाट हैपन, द बेनिफिट्स एंड द सर्विसेज शुड बी गिवन टू द एम्प्लॉय. Okay, if these benefits and incentive are given, then the employee are not having. Second thing, to making or to create a labor unrest. So this is called as what, the employee benefit. There are two things are there, I have already declared. One is the meaning of employee benefits. Meaning of employee means benefits is nothing but any benefit that are given to the employee in addition to their salary, that is called as the employee benefits. Clear? So this can be done. The benefit programs are many in follow, like that of efficiency in administrations, commitment among the people's, happy family, it makes happy family, promote the productivity. But in addition to this, whatever the point I was given to you, these are those are most important in addition to these points. Clear? Then the next one is coming under the examples of the employee benefit. Okay, so before we are proceeding to the your example of the employee benefit, I can say that there are different types of employee benefits are there. Okay, here the examples are coming, but I can say you have to write down in a sequence, not in this way. Okay, so there are different types of your what, the employee benefits and the services. Just write down. The employee benefit and services includes what, there are different types of employee benefits and the services. The first one is that it should be computable in terms of money. The second thing is that the amount of benefit is not generally predetermined. No contract indicating when the sum is payable should exist. Okay, the three things should there. in the employee benefit, whenever sometimes a benefit is there, benefit is given to you, a company is contracting you that I am giving this type of benefit, and if you are not doing your duty properly, then you have to return it. So this is a type of the contract. So these things are not, this thing, there is no chances of these things will be happening. Then the first one is it should be computable, not only in terms of the money, but in also in terms of the service. Like that of someone say that transport facility was given, some your health facilities was given, this is also coming under your benefits. Okay, then the amount of your benefits is not predetermined. All of a sudden the government or the company has announced that you are given this type of the benefits, the company is giving this type of benefits to you. So this is coming under which one, the types and employee benefits, services, etc. and etc. Then in your IGNOU syllabus we are having what, the examples of employee benefits, like that of legally required payments. Employee benefits are taken form of legally required payments, like your old age, supervisors, your disability, your health insurance, workers' compensation, unemployment compensation, contingent and diva benefit, pension plans, group life insurance. So these things are coming under your here. Directly you can come. The purpose is not required. Directly you can come relating to the types of employee benefits. Okay. So in the types of your employee benefits, yeah, in the types of employee benefit, that the first type that is called as that the fringe benefits. Yeah. Pencil price. Significant. Okay. So here this is called as the fringe benefits. What do you mean by the following principles must govern the administrations of fringe benefits? So fringe benefits refers to supplements to wage obtained by the employee at the cost of the employer. Fringe benefits are also called wage extra, hidden payments, non-wage labor cost, supplementary wage practices. The list of fringe benefits cover numerous items such as pensions and other agreed upon payments, lunch periods, etc., payment for time not work, and other items such as profit sharing payment, festivals, or other special bonus services award, suggestions award, free meals, and voluntary programs. So these are not coming under the fringe benefit. Just write down here. Benefit and services must be provided to the employee on the basis of genuine interest in the protection and promotion of their well-being. The management should not feel that the fringes are thrust upon them, nor should the management feel that they providing the benefits as a matter of charity. The benefit must satisfy a real needs. Employee resist or are indifferent to any benefit which is not liked by them. The benefit must be cost effective. The benefit should be as broad based as possible. Administrations of the benefit should be proceeded by sound planning. The wishes of the employee as expressed by the union representative and the bargaining power of the union must be considered. Employees should be educated to make use of the fringe. Okay, so like that of inside the fringe benefit means what? The main objective of the fringe benefit is that the employee should get everything by which what happened. There is a genuine interest. They are it, the main objective is that to creating a genuine interest among the employee to do more and more work for the organization. That is the main motto of the fringe benefit. So there are different types of the fringe benefits are there, like that of here. The casual leave, the number of casual leave has been increased, like that of your in an organization, the governmental, your employee, they are having the CL, 15 CLs are there. Okay, so this is called as that besides 16 CL, 15 CL, the government has introduced more 5 or 6 CLs, that is called coming under the fringe benefit. On leave means what? The leave you are selling your leave, then you are getting your payment. If you are not availing your CL, and if you are selling your EL or CL, then you will be on. This is called as the on leave. Then PF, PF means what? A percentage of amount has been cut from your side, and the government is also adding some percent from his side. This is called as the PF. Then the pension plan after retirement, the government has not there the pension plan in the year of 2004. After 2004, whoever the employee that has engaged, they cannot avail the pension plan. The government has what the government has cancelled this type of the pension plan, so there is no pension plan is there. Now the gratuity means what? The same thing, that some percentage of your funding is providing by from the governmental side. Then the facility program to erase the routine of like that of sometimes the working hour, the sometimes the government has reduced the working hour 8 hours to 6 hour. Some 2 days your like that of for central government, there are 2 days leaves are there, like the Saturday and Sunday. For the non-teaching staff also, the government is announcing 8 days of work with 2 days of leave. For the teaching staff, we are having 6 days of work, 6 hours of work, and 1 day of leave. So this is called as the working hour. Then medical allowances are there. The government has, if you are, if you are in government employee, then you are also availing whatever the expenses incurred in your during the time of your of your job. Then the government is providing any type of the medical allowances. Then leave travel. Your two types of travels are there. One is the STC, and second was the LTC, like the hometown allowances and. Besides the hometown allowances, any area you can also avail, that is STC and LTC. So this type of the leave travel consensus, it means that from your hometown to any other part you can go. So it can be the LTC, the government is providing LTC for after for one time after 3 years, and STC for every year. So this is, if a person is availing the STC, then he is not in a positions to avail the other one. Okay, so it means the what if in 2024 or 24 as a central government employee I am availing the STC, then after 2 years I can availing what the LTC. Okay, so in after every 3 years you can avail the LTC, not the STC. Then the for sports and the drama, so this is nothing, the in order to increasing or in order to reducing your tension or the or encouraging the leisure time on the programs, the government is also introducing different type of sports and different type of drama in your work schedule. So this is nothing, this is a type of the benefits or fringe benefit that are coming under you. So this you can write the different types. Then here, in some other book like that of Ashwatthapa, it has been written that the benefits and services are many things are there. There are seven parameters are there, like that the treats. Treats means sometimes what happen in fringe benefits. Some says your breakfast are introduced. Okay, so that is coming under the your treats. Then coffee breaks are introduced. Then some picnics that are also introduced in some government. So these all are coming under. Sometimes what happen, the company is also introduce t-shirts labeling his own name. Their company's name is there in the label, and t-shirts has been what distributed among the employee. So this is called as the type of that there is small types of fringe benefit that are given, but the main objective is that only to arouse a sense of what awareness and a sense of encouragement among the employee to do the more and more work for the organizations. So this is called as the benefits. Clear, students? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
I am asking you. Gayatri.
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt, Gayatri? You are unmuting and again muting.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, then come here. The Industrial Dispute Act 1947. Okay. Benefit of service payment of not over compensation benefits. Okay. Now come to the point about that. Here, what do you mean by the workman? Who is a workman? Just like is the definition, there are different type of definition of employee and employer. So what is the definition of a workman? So government staff covered by the definition of worker is defined under Section 2 of the Factory Act 1948. The workman is defined under Section 2 of the Industrial Dispute Act 1947 are classified as industrial staff, and who do not fall with three definitions are classified as non-industrial staff. The industrial employees are governed by labor law. This give them substantial right to form trade union and to raise industrial dispute. The non-industrial employee are governed by the rules applicable to central government servants in general. Okay, so clear. The Workmen Compensation Act 1948, the Factory Act 1948, it has the two things. The one is called as the definition of a worker, and second one is the definition of a non-worker. Okay, so Industrial Dispute Act 1947 and your Factory Act 1948, it has defined that there are two definitions are there. One is called as a worker, and second industrial worker or the industrial staff, and second one is a non-industrial staff. In the industrial employee are governed by the labor. If you are an industrial employee, and whatever the benefit that the government is providing you, that you are availing the type of benefits, but this given them substantial right to form a trade union. Like that, if you are in government employee, then you cannot form any type of trade union. You have your union, but not a type of trade union. And to raise the industrial dispute, if you are some disputes are there, then you can go direct, not directly go, but directly through your trade unions. You can approach through your trade unions. And some non-industrial employee are governed by the rules applicable to central government servants in general. Okay, so that there are two things are there. So what is the Industrial Dispute Act 1947? The Industrial Dispute Act 1947 was amended with effect from August 21, 1984, empowering the government to keep their industrial establishment outside the purview of the Act, which implies that the industrial worker will have resources to only to sort of rules and its applicables to other government employee for settlement of their grievances. The notification issued initially for the establishment of the Central Administrative Tribunals and excluded the employee covered by the Industrial Dispute Act from the scope and jurisdiction of the tribunal. However, by a subsequent amendment of Administrative Tribunal Act 1985 in 1986, the relevant clause was deleted, thereby bringing the employee governed by the Industrial Dispute Act also within the jurisdiction of Administrative Tribunal. So here it has been written nothing, but it has been written that whatever the Industrial Dispute Act 1947 was there, it was revised in the year of 1984. Okay, so the Industrial Dispute Act, it has amended different things relating to the worker, like that of there are many points are there. One is that the revision has been recommended to carry it out on that 1 to 10 years present leave entitled 17 days, and revised leave is the 20 days. It means what? If you are joining in company 1 to 10 years, 1 से 10 साल के अंदर आपकी सीएल 17 दिन होता है, और धीरे धीरे आप 20 से, अभी क्या होता है 20 से 17-20 बढ़ गया है. Clear? If you are in company, and if you are in the first after 10 years of completions of your job, initially it was 7 days, but now it was not, the 3 days has been added, it was now 20 days. If you are if you are in a company in between the period of 11 to 20 years, so initially it was 22, but now it was 25, then you are availing your leave. Okay, so this type of parameter now it was given in the year of 1984. You have to remember only the date. Here it was written 1947 the revised policy, that is in the year of 1984. Initially it was 1947, that is the Industrial Dispute Act. So whatever the employee, the industrial staff was there, they're availing these things. Okay, then directly you can come here. What are the different type of your on leaves are there? You know what is the on leave? On leave means what? The industrial employee may be permanent accumulate up to 300 days of on leave. On, अच्छा आप लोग तो सारे कंपनी में जॉब करते हो, आपको ऑन लीव मिलता है? आप बताइए. हाँ स्टूडेंट, आप सारे तो कंपनी में 50% लोग तो जॉब करते हो आप लोग. So,
यस मैम, मिलता है.
आदित्य कितना मिलता है आदित्य?
यस मैम, वो 20 अर्नली मिलता है एनुअली.
ईयरली?
हाँ, ईयरली.
ईयरली 20. तो वो जो 20 मिलता है, आप इसको बेच सकते हो या नहीं बेच सकते हो?
उसमें एनकैशमेंट रहता है, वो डिपेंड करता है मतलब कंपनी पॉलिसी के ऊपर। तो
हाँ,
कैरी फॉरवर्ड कुछ रहता है और कुछ एनकैश हो सकता है। पर अभी कुछ मॉडिफाइड हो गया है जो कि वो मतलब एनकैश ना होके वो पूरा रहता है कि जब भी आप कंपनी छोड़ेंगे उस टाइम पे ही वो मतलब एक्युमुलेट होके वो देते हैं।
अभी ये आपकी कंपनी का नहीं है, सारे कंपनी का यही है, जब आप छोड़ोगे उसी टाइम ही सेल कर सकते हो।
नहीं मैम, पहले हमारा था इनकेसमेंट था, वो जैसे कि मतलब अगले ईयर का फर्स्ट पे स्लिप जैसे जनवरी या फरवरी में वो मतलब क्रेडिटेड होके आ जाता था। पर अभी जो है वो कुछ
जनवरी
मॉडिफाइड
फरवरी या मार्च अप्रैल में?
है।
मार्च अप्रैल होगा।
हाँ, मार्च अप्रैल में होगा शायद, मुझे इतना याद
बिगिनिंग
नहीं।
ऑफ न्यू सेशन में ये लोग देते हैं, मार्च अप्रैल।
हाँ हाँ, होगा
हम्म
मैम शायद, हाँ
बजट
मुझे।
सेशन से पहले, बजट सेशन से पहले।
यस यस
हम्म
मैम, वो फाइनेंशियल ईयर से पहले, हाँ।
हम्म
तो
फिर
वही
अभी
चीज
आप लोग जब छोड़ते हो उसी टाइम सेल कर सकते हो।
आ, जिस अभी हो गया है कि जो भी मतलब रहेगा इनकेसमेंट रहेगा वो एक्युमुलेटेड होकर रहेगा, जब भी हम छोड़ेंगे उसके बाद ही वो मिलेगा।
अच्छा, ऑन लीव आपका जो पर डे के हिसाब जो सैलरी होता है उस हिसाब से लेते हैं, वो ज्यादा देते हैं? कितना होता है एक लीव का, कितना पैसा होता है?
वो रहता है कुछ, अभी तो मुझे मालूम नहीं क्योंकि अभी तो
नहीं,
ईयरली
आपको
तो
आपको मैं कैलकुलेटिव वे में पूछती हूँ, जो आपकी सैलरी है उसके हिसाब से दिन का लेते हैं या कम देते हैं?
आ,
पता है कुछ?
शायद उतना ही रहता है या फिर कुछ कम भी रहता है, मुझे
कम
मैं
देते
एक्चुअली
हैं, कम देते हैं, कम देते हैं, उतना नहीं देंगे ये लोग।
हाँ,
कम देते हैं।
वो
और
शायद
कोई
होगा,
स्टूडेंट
हाँ हाँ मैम, कम ही देते हैं, मतलब
कम देते
इतना भी नहीं
कम
देते हैं, हाँ।
देते हैं क्योंकि वो होते हैं पक्का बिजनेसमैन। इंडस्ट्रियल बिजनेसमैन आर ऑलवेज द मेन बिजनेसमैन। और कोई स्टूडेंट आपको ऑन लीव होता है? आप डिस्कशन करोगे तो क्लास अच्छा लगेगा, नहीं तो नींद आ जाएगा आपको। आदित्य, तुम्हें समझ में आता है?
यस मैम, यस मैम।
अच्छा, और कोई स्टूडेंट? आप लोग तो जॉब में हो ना, कोई और ऑन लीव मिलता है या नहीं मिलता है? नहीं
गवर्नमेंट में
मिलता
30 days मिलता है मैडम।
है। 30 डेज किस में मिलता है?
ईएल में, ऑन लीव में।
आपको मिलता है 30 डेज?
हाँ मैडम।
अच्छा, तो वो जो आपका जो ईएल है, आप उसको सेल कर पाते हो या नहीं कर पाते हो?
सीनियर्स तो बोलते हैं अभी वो प्रोविजन उठ गया है, अभी नहीं बेच सकते मैडम,
नहीं,
जो भी
प्रोविजन
है।
तो है। प्रोविजन है, प्रोविजन है। ये जो होता है ना आपका 30 to 60 डेज होता है। ठीक है, प्रोविजन तो है, लेकिन जब आप एग्जिट करते हो उसी टाइम ही आप सेल कर सकते हो। ये प्रोविजन है, आप मंथली मंथली नहीं इसको सेल कर सकते हो। ठीक है,
ओ,
तो ये डिपेंड करता है
मैडम
ऑर्गेनाइज।
अप
हाँ,
टू कितना मंथ तक हम लोग उस
आपके
ईएल
कितना
सेल कर
साल
सकते
हुआ
हैं?
है अभी?
मेरा 2 years हो गया मैडम।
आप एक काम कीजिए ना, आप जो इंडस्ट्रियल डिस्प्यूट एक्ट में आपका डाउनलोड करो। ठीक है, आप
यस
उसमें
मैम।
देखो एक एम्प्लॉय जो हमारा जैसे गवर्नमेंट हम जॉब करते हैं तो उसमें हमारा जो गेजेटियर है उसमें डिफरेंट रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन होता है। तो आपकी कंपनी के थ्रू से आप 2 साल के बाद अगर आप ऑन लीव को सेल करना चाहते हो तो मिलेगा, ये आप एलिजिबल में आ रही हो नहीं आ रहे हो ये देखो।
यस मैम।
अगर आ रहे हो तो आपको 100% मिलेगा। ठीक है,
ओके मैम।
क्योंकि
ठीक है।
ज्यादातर ये होता है कि 10 years के बाद ही ऑन लीव सेल करते हैं। ठीक है, लेकिन कंपनी में डिफरेंसेस उसकी पॉलिसीज एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव रहता है। मैं ये नहीं बोल रही हूँ आप 10 साल ही रुको उसमें। ठीक है, तो एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया 10 years में रहता है, कोई 5 साल लेता है, लेकिन मिनिमम तो 5 साल रहता है। 2 साल में कोई ऑन लीव नहीं ले सकते हो, मतलब सेल नहीं कर सकते हो। इसको
यस
आप
मैम।
एक्यूमुलेट कर सकते हो, एक जगह जमा कर सकते हो, बाद में
यस
इसको
मैम।
सेल।
वो जो एनुअली जो 30 होता है वो क्यूमुलेटिवली बढ़ता जाता है, ऐड होता जाता है।
क्यूमुलेटिवली बढ़ता रहता है, वो 5 years तक बढ़ेगा, इसके बाद आप उसको कर
यूज
सकते।
करना पड़ता है, नहीं तो वो लैप्स हो जाएगा।
हाँ हाँ, ठीक है।
यस मैम।
ओके, थैंक यू। आप पार्टिसिपेट करो क्लास में, तुम्हें समझ में आ रहा है निक्की,
यस मैम।
या स्पीड में हो रहा है?
नहीं नहीं, ठीक है मैम।
सो इंडस्ट्रियल, इसके लिए एक काम करो, अश्वत्थापा की बुक्स थोड़ा सा ओवरलुक करो। अश्वत्थापा,
ठीक।
ओके,
अच्छा पापा,
एमबीए
यस
का
मैम।
अश्वत्थापा की बुक्स अच्छा है। So industrial employee may be permitted to accumulate up to 300 days of on leave on par with non-industrial employee and to encash out of each leave so accumulated leave up to 60 days only on by them during their entire service while availing of leave travel concessions for travel anywhere in the country. Leave that can be taken on any one occasion should be reduced in the case of non-industrial employee from 180 days to 60 days. Such leave is often abused by workers in the event of undesired transfer. The thing is that nothing but in order to get the EL, a person has to approaching the respective organizations 15 days before. Clear? You have to say about the region of your EL. Clear? Third thing is that if you want to sell your accumulated EL, okay, then you can also sell your accumulated EL depending upon the company policy like that of 5 year or maybe the 10 years. So this is all total. But whatever the payment that you are getting, it is always less than the expected payment. It means that if a person is getting a salary of not salary, that is the remuneration of 700 or 900 or maybe 1500 per day. So if he want to sell the EL, then it should be below than the 1500 per day. It means that he can avail 1200, 1100, etc., etc. So this is only for the benefit of the your company. Then retirement, you know what you mean by the retirement benefits. So retirement benefits now there are different parameter is there 62. So there is a different class in between the two things. One is called the 60 and second one is the 62. So the governmental employee, they are retiring at the age of 60 years. The central government employee are not retiring at 62, but the teaching employees are retiring at the age of 65. But here it has been written 62. This is for university teacher, but for IIT, Triple IT, NIT, the retirement your employee age is 65, not 62. But for university teachers like that of your Barampur University, Jivaji, so this type of university, the employee age is 62, and for governmental teacher, this is for 60. Clear? So now they are raising their allegations against the government to increase the retirement age to 62 to 65. Now, what I don't know what the government will say, but they are trying their best. So there are another provisions is there. So most of them serve the government for 30 to 40 years till retirement. It becomes incumbent on governmental to look after their retired employee when they are not in a positions to work. They need to be compensated during this period decently so that they can securely discharge during their active lifespan. In fixing of retired age of employees, some of the important factors which are taken into account are life expectancy, health, morbidity, labor market conditions, stage of economic development, financial implications, social, etc., etc. Then there are three forms of retirement benefit, like non-contributory, wherein the government is responsible for the retirement benefit; partially contributory, wherein the government and employees share the cost of retirement; wholly contributory, wherein the employee contribute. In India, there are two main scheme of retirement benefit for employee, namely the pension scheme and contributory provident funds. You know that is called PF. PF is there. So it is nothing. In India, only implementing there are two things is there. One is called as the pension scheme is there, and second one is that the PF or the provident fund is there. So now we are giving the 15%, 10%, whatever maybe the provident fund towards the governmental side. We are having the one passbook in the governmental sector, and the government is deducting the PF during the time of our your what the salary. So PF has been deducted and it can be accumulated gradually, and you can get the PF after your retirement. So this is called as the PF. The main thing is that in addition to this your there are some VRS scheme is also there. The voluntary retirement your benefits are given. So during the main motto of the voluntary retirement benefits are there. So if an employee is giving this the voluntary retirement benefits, then the government is compensating the employee like that of if you are resigning your job 5 years before, then you can get what the 50% of your the future. Suppose you are at the age of 55 and you are giving the BRS. Okay, so 5 years you have to go पाँच आपका 5 साल था, तो 5 साल में आपका 50% आपका सैलरी गवर्नमेंट आपको प्रोवाइड करेगा। इसके साथ आपको डिफरेंट पेंशन स्कीम, डिफरेंट पीएफ पहले मिल जाएगा। सो दिस इज ओनली द गवर्नमेंट इज प्रोवाइडिंग दिस टाइप ऑफ प्रोविजंस बाय व्हिच व्हाट हैपन द यंग मास कैन एंटर द ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस। आप पहले रिटायर करोगे तो जल्दी जल्दी बहुत सारे लोग आपका करेंगे, लेकिन उड़ीसा में अभी क्या है, उल्टा हो रहा है। 60 the employee that are below the age of 70 years, that they are also eligible to re-entering the job. The government is encouraging not the young mass but the old mass, because the government says that the value should be added in every type of organizations. 70 below जो है सारे लोगों को लेके आओ और organizations के अंदर इनको भरो, और जो young mass है, young blood है, उनका encouragement कम कर दिया। Okay, then the next one is called as the pension. What do you mean by the pension? The most organization offer plans to provide supplementary income to employee after the retirement. So whatever the benefit that you are taking after your retirement, that is coming under the pensions. So these are the either the company paid or jointly paid. Sometimes you or some percentage are deducted. Sometimes what happen, the government or the company totally bear the pension scheme. But initially it was company bear, but now it was not the company bear all the things, but you have to deduct it partially, and the government has like that of MPS. So you have to deduct it, your amount has been deducted partially, and the government has added someone. So this is called as the pension scheme. So in the pension scheme, what happened? The organizations pay gratuity to employee attending superannuations. There is, however, a ceiling on gratuity which may not be justified. If an employee has served in organizations for a long time, there is no reason why he or she should be denied the benefit of higher gratuity. So here there are different your president like that of there is the pension scheme. In pension scheme you have only right what um, just write that NIIT, National Indian Institute of Technology, has introduced a paternity leave from main employee with additions option of flexi time employment and an additional of 200 convenience allowance for new parents. The New Year Day has been designed as the Granny Gratitude Day and not in a compulsory holiday for all. So this is not coming under the pension plan. So pension plan means what? After the pensions, whatever the benefits that you are getting, first thing is that you are getting the monetary benefit depending upon your the 50% of your what of your salary that you are getting during the time of your pension. That pension should be the pension should be accumulated from your side and from the governmental side, entirely not from the governmental side. Third thing is that after the retirement, some clubs has been encouraged inside the company, and you will be the member of that type of the club. So this is also you are availing in the pension plan. Whatever the retirement benefit that you are getting, that coming under the pension plan. Then the fourth one is that what some medical facility are providing after some retirement period. So these also are coming under the pension plan. So these all are coming under the pension plan. Article 366 of the Constitution of India, pension means a pension whether contributory or not, or a pension. Clear? The Supreme Court of India has the landmarks cases of DS Nakara and others versus Union of India clarified all the issues relating to a pension while examining the goals that a pension scheme should be seek to achieve. The Apex Code held that a pension scheme consistent with available resource must provide that the pension life free from want, with decency, independence, and self-respect at a standard equivalent at pre-retirement level. This is the definition of pensions. So there are different type of kinds of pension. This is important. One is called as the superannuation pension. Superannuation pension, it is a pension granted to a person who retired on attaining the age of superannuation or compulsory retirement age rule 35. Clear? Then, what do you mean by this? If you are attaining your age of superannuations, the retirement is, then you are getting the retirement. You are availing the retirement. So this is called as that the pension granted to a person who retired on attaining the age of superannuation 60, 62, 65, whatever may be that. So by these purposes, what happened? The compulsory retirement was given to you under your what compensation act of year 1947, rule number 35. Then the second one is the retiring pension. It is a pension granted to a public servant who retired voluntarily (VRS) or is retired in advance of the age of compulsory retirement by giving the prescribed notice, and who, on being declared surplus, opt for voluntary retirement. This is also coming under VRS scheme. 5 साल से पहले, 10 साल से पहले, 10 साल तो नहीं है, मिनिमम 10 साल के अंदर है, आपको VRS देना पड़ेगा. ओके, सो वॉलंटरी रिटायरमेंट, that is called as retiring persons. Then invalid person, it is a pension granted to a public servant who retired from services because of any bodily or mentally infirmity which permanently incapacitate him for the services, if so certified by the appropriate medical authority. Clear? Take one example. In the time of your job, on the if when you are on the job, so during the time of some medical deficiency has been arised, some mental problem है, आप पागल हो गए हो, mental आपका problem हो गया, आपका आप इंजर हो, मेडिकल में आप फिट नहीं हो, तो उसी टाइम गवर्नमेंट क्या करेगा, आपको कंपल्सरी रिटायरमेंट दे देगा. दैट इज कमिंग अंडर द इनवैलिड पेंशन. ओके, so in that cases, it is a pension not invalid. It means that the person is not availing pension. The person is availing the person, but here it is a pension granted to a public servant who retired from service because of some bodily infirmity. Infirmity means he is not eligible to join the duty. Then compensation pension, it is a pension granted to a government servant who is discharged owing to the abolition of his permanent post, while a suitable post of equal rank cannot be found for him, or when such post is offered to him but not accepted by him. That is called as compensation pension. It is a pension granted to a government servant who is discharging owing to the abolition of his permanent post, while a suitable post of equal rank cannot be found for him, or when such post is offered to him but not accepted by him. Clear? आप कोई गवर्नमेंट जॉब में हो, उसी टाइम आप उस जॉब को डिस्चार्ज करते हो. ओके, लेकिन वो जॉब आपका जो परमानेंट जॉब है वो एबोलिश हो चुका है ऑलरेडी, वो नहीं है, आप उस जगह में आप हो. ओके, उसी टाइम क्या होता है, ए सुटेबल पोस्ट ऑफ इक्वल रैंक कैन नॉट बी फाउंड. आपको उसी रैंक, अगर आप, मैं पियन तो नहीं है, मैं क्लास 1 जॉब में हूँ, लेकिन उस क्राइटेरिया ऑफ जॉब उसी टाइम है नहीं है, आपको उस टाइप की जॉब आप दे नहीं सकते हो, तो उसी टाइम भी आप क्या कर सकते हो, आप पेंशन एवेल कर सकते हो, आप खुद ही ले सकते हो, पेंशन ले सकते हो. Then compulsory retirement pension, it is a pension granted to a government servant when he is compulsory retired. जो VRS जो मैंने बोली थी वही चीज है. It is a person pension granted to a government servant when he is compulsorily retired as a penalty. अच्छा, पेनल्टी के ऊपर, पेनल्टी का मतलब क्या होता है? सपोज टेक वन एग्जांपल, सपोज 35 ईयर्स, आई थिंक सो, गवर्नमेंट जॉब में आप कंटिन्यूइंग 35 ईयर्स होने के बाद, बिफोर आपका एज 62 ना हो, तब भी आपकी 30 विच ओवर इज अर्लियर 33, यू आर इन ए जॉब फॉर द पीरियड ऑफ 33 years, or maybe you are attaining the age of 60 years. So whichever year you are, the government is paying you the compulsory your compulsory retirement pension. So it is a pension granted to a government servant when he is compulsory retired as a penalty. आपको जबरदस्ती आपको निकाला जाता है. Then compensatory allowance, when a government servant is dismissed or removed from services, he may, if he so deserve, be given compensate allowance on a special consideration as if he forfeits on dismissals or removal his pension and gratitudes. Compensate allowance, sometimes this is not coming under the pension scheme, but it is a allowance, so you can skip it. It is not there to write. Okay, extraordinary pension, the central civil services extraordinary pensions will provide disability pension, family pension when he is permanently incapacitated on account of injury, disability pension. डिसेबिलिटी पेंशन आपका कंपनी में भी होता है, नहीं होता है कंपनी में, लेकिन it should be certified by the expert. If you are disabled, if you are doing a job and some problems has been arised, you are not able to do that job, then the
हाँ
हाँ
आदित्य है मैम।
हाँ हाँ
एक्चुअली मैम वो इंश्योरेंस तो प्रोवाइड करते हैं वर्कर कंपनसेशन का, कि अगर कोई किसी का कुछ हो गया कैंपस के पेरिफेरल के अंदर कुछ एम्प्लॉय का, अगर तो वो इंश्योरेंस देते
नहीं,
हैं।
वो तो आपका एक्सीडेंटल बेनिफिट्स हुआ। जो
ओके ओके
इंश्योरेंस की
मैम।
बात आप कर रहे हो वो दूसरा चीज है, वो फ्रिंज बेनिफिट में एक्सीडेंटल बेनिफिट्स बोल रही हूँ। लेकिन ये एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी पेंशन ये होता है आदित्य, जैसे
अच्छा।
आप कोई जॉब में हो जिसमें आपका दोनों हाथ यूज होता है, ठीक है, आपका
हम्म।
दोनों हाथ कट गया, भगवान करे ना कटे, मैं आपको एग्जाम्पल दे रही
हाँ
हूँ।
हाँ हाँ
आपका दोनों हाथ कट गया तो उसी जॉब को, जैसे मैंने पहला वाला पॉइंट आपको समझाया, उसी जॉब को करने के लिए कोई दूसरा पोस्ट क्रिएट नहीं हो पा रहा है, आपको वो
हम्म।
रखेंगे कहाँ, ठीक है ना? नहीं, तो उसी
अच्छा
टाइम क्या करेंगे, आपको डिसेबिलिटी पेंशन आपको मिल जाएगा। मतलब
अच्छा ओके।
आप बिना हाथ से कोई और काम के लिए उसी पोस्ट में उसी पैसा में आपको नहीं हो सकता है। नहीं समझ में? सपोज आपका सैलरी हुआ 60,000, if you are in a if you are in a position of a senior manager, I don't know the salary of senior manager, but I'm just assuming, okay. So
ओके
if you are a position of senior manager, some accidental problems has been arised and आपका दोनों हाथ कट गया, ठीक है, तो मैं आपको कहाँ रिप्लेस करूँ, आप बताओ? कहीं और हो सकते, क्योंकि दोनों हाथ तो आपको जरूरी है। तो उसमें क्या होता है, और कंपनी क्या करता है, आपको पेंशन देता है, लेकिन वो आपका हाथ मतलब सर्टिफाई कौन करेंगे, एक्सपर्ट लोग आपको आके सर्टिफाई करेंगे कि आप परमानेंटली इनकेपेबल हो, 50-40% एबव परमानेंट इनकेपेबल हो, इंजरी आपका सर्टिफाइड है, तब आपके उस डिसेबिलिटी पेंशन में आप एवेल करके, गवर्नमेंट में, इंडियन गवर्नमेंट में 5 से 10% लोग ही एवेल करते हैं, ये नहीं कर पाते, क्योंकि जो आपकी एक्सपर्ट जो सर्टिफाई करते हैं वो आपको परसेंटेज के नीचे रख ले, 40% से नीचे ही करवा देते हैं, जिसमें आप एवेल नहीं कर पाते हो, ठीक है।
ओके
तो
ओके
ये
ओके
रेयर केस है। Then next one is called as the family pension, to the widow allowance to children if the death of the government servant is accepted due to the governmental services। इसको तो ये तो बड़े सुंदर भाषा में लिख दिया इन लोगों ने, लेकिन इसमें क्या होता है, जो फैमिली पेंशन होता है, एक तो ये 4th क्लास एम्प्लॉय का जॉब ये लोग प्रोवाइड करते हैं, जैसे ये रिहैबिलिटेशन स्कीम एक आता है, जिसमें आपका अदर फादर कोई क्लास 1 जॉब में है, आप कोई प्रॉब्लम हुआ उनको, तो जो वाइफ होता है या जो डॉटर होता है, जो अनमेरिड, लाइफ लॉन्ग अनमेरिड रहेगा और जो रेस्पॉन्सिबल ले सकता है फैमिली का, तो वो एवेल कर सकता है फैमिली पेंशन। तो इसमें क्या होता है, एक चीज होता है, जैसे आपको जॉब प्रोवाइड करेंगे ये लोग पहले, तो जॉब में क्या होता है, आपका वही आपकी जो क्लास 4th वाला एम्प्लॉय का जॉब होता है, जैसे पियोन टाइप हुआ, जैसे अटेंडर्स हुआ, तो इसी टाइप की जॉब ये लोग देंगे। तो इसके अगर आप जॉब को एज्यूम कर लो, ले लो, एक्सेप्ट करोगे तब तो ठीक है, नहीं तो आपकी पेंशन, आपका जो फादर की जो टू सैलरी आपको एवेल मिलेगा। Okay, so this is called as that the family pensions. But now the government is not providing any type of this type, vidhava bhatta, bekari bhatta. So this type of bhatta is there, allowances is there, but not pension schemes are there in the governmental. So now,
मैडम मैडम जो रिहेबिलिटेशन जो बोले, वो तो
हाँ,
अगर वाइफ है तो वो तो बेटी को नहीं देते हैं ना मैडम, अगर जब
नहीं,
तक वो फिजिकली फिट है तो।
आप सुनो 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 सुनो, अगर
हाँ
वाइफ है तो बेटी अगर अनमेरिड डिक्लेयर करेगा, शादी नहीं करेगा, तब
हाँ
यू आर
हाँ।
एलिजिबल। आई समझ में? आप जॉब
लेकिन
कर लोगे,
अगर बेटा, मैडम अगर बेटा होगा तो भी अगर माँ है तो बेटे को तो नहीं मिलता है मैडम अभी।
नहीं, माँ पहला प्रायोरिटी माँ को ही मिलेगी इसमें, पहला
हाँ
प्रायोरिटी माँ को मिलेगी, बेटा को नहीं मिलेगी, पहला प्रायोरिटी माँ को मिलेगी। लेकिन माँ, बेटा और बेटी के बीच में अगर बेटी को चुनेगी और बेटी अगर शादी नहीं करेगी, तब जाके वो रिहेबिलिटेशन स्कीम में आएगी,
यस
नहीं तो
मैम,
माँ
यस
का
मैम।
नेक्स्ट ऑप्शन आपका बेटा चला जाएगा, ठीक है।
वो तो लेकिन उसके लिए भी कुछ अनफिट सर्टिफिकेट वो सब मांगते हैं ना मैडम, अगर
हाँ हाँ,
अनफिट होगा तभी बेटे को मिलेगा, नहीं तो नहीं मिलेगा।
किसका? माँ का?
हाँ, माँ का अनफिट सर्टिफिकेट होने से ही
वो
वो
अंडर
जो
नहीं,
सीडीएम।
अनफिट नहीं, अंडरटेकिंग लिख के देगा, अंडरटेकिंग।
नहीं मैडम,
अनफिट
अनफिट सर्टिफिकेट मांगते हैं अभी।
अभी नहीं तो हमारे कॉलेज में एक गुजर गए तो उनको ऑनफिट नहीं मांगे, उन्होंने अंडरटेकिंग लिखे दैट आई हैव नो इंटरेस्ट टू डू दिस जॉब एंड आई वॉलंटरीली गिव माय जॉब टू माय सन
वो
और टू माय डॉटर।
लेकिन यहाँ एक पुलिस सर्विस में तो वो अलाउ नहीं किए मैडम।
वो
बोले
दूसरा
कि
टाइप का जॉब है, सुनो, पुलिस जॉब दूसरा टाइप का जॉब है।
हाँ, वो
हाँ,
अंडरटेकिंग भी नहीं मांगे मैडम, वो
नहीं
बोले कि
गवर्नमेंट
अनफिट सर्टिफिकेट देने।
एकेडमिक जॉब में अंडरटेकिंग लेते हैं, पुलिस आर्मी ये सब जॉब होता है वो फिटनेस का जॉब, फिटनेस का सर्टिफिकेट रिक्वायर करते हैं।
ओ,
जैसे आपने बोला कि मैडम वो तो फिटनेस सर्टिफिकेट, वो टाइप ऑफ जॉब अलग हो जाती है ना, तो डिपेंड करता है किसमें। अब आप
लेकिन क्लास 4 के लिए तो फिट रहने के लिए क्या जरूरत है मैडम?
है, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट का, अब देखो आपका एक ऐप आता है, मैं भूल गई उस ऐप का नाम, शायद वो क्या बोलते हैं उसको, जैसे फिजिकली हैंडीकैप जो होते हैं ना, ठीक है, तो उनके लिए एक ऐप आता है, आपको पता है वो क्या है?
नहीं मैडम।
गवर्नमेंटल साइड में होता है एक, भूल गई मैं, लिखा था नाम तो लिखा था एकलव्य या ऐसे कुछ था हिंदी में। वो एक ऐप आता है, तो उस ऐप में आप क्या करोगे, जैसे डाउनलोड किया, डाउनलोड करने के बाद ये लोग फिक्स करते हैं फ्राइडे और सैटरडे 2 दिन के लिए। वो फ्राइडे और सैटरडे में आपका वो सर्टिफिकेट देंगे, सर्टिफिकेट से पहले आप कुछ पैसा दोगे उनको, तो इसके बाद वो 40% से बिलो आएगा तो वो काट देंगे, आपको जॉब नहीं मिलेगा। 40% से ऊपर जाओगे तो आपको जॉब में, तो ये जो क्राइटेरिया है, जो जरूरत नहीं है तब भी ये लोग क्या करते हैं, क्या करें, यही चलता है दुनिया, यही हमारा चलता है।
यस मैम।
पीएन जॉब के लिए कोई एलिजिबिलिटी नहीं जरूरत है, पता है, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट का क्या, गवर्नमेंट जो रूल किया है, अगर फिर आप एक केस कर दोगे कॉम्पेंसेशन एक्ट के अंदर या आपकी जो इंडस्ट्रियल डिस्प्यूट के अंदर कर दोगे तो आप ही जीतोगे। हाँ, ये है कि जब आप जीतोगे 5 साल बीत जाएगा, 10 साल बीत जाएगा, तब आप बूढ़ा हो जाओगे, लेकिन आप
यस मैम।
जीतोगे, पक्का जीतोगे। कभी भी कोई गवर्नमेंटल स्कीम के अंदर आप अगेंस्ट जॉब केस किया तो केस में तो आपका विन होना कन्फर्म है, लेकिन थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा और उस टाइम जब मिलेगा ना उसका टेस्ट खत्म हो जाएगा। ये होता है गवर्नमेंट में। आपने
यस
की
मैम।
कोई जॉब में हो कंटिन्यूस, आप 10 10 ईयर्स जॉब करो, उस जॉब का आपको जॉब वो टेम्पररी परमानेंट होना ही होना है, लेकिन मेन क्राइटेरिया ये होता है आप डिसकंटिन्यू नहीं करो कभी, हमेशा जो जैसे 2 महीने 3 महीने निकाल देते हैं, लेकिन 10 साल कोई भी जॉब अगर आप कंटिन्यू, जैसे हमारा गवर्नमेंटल में एक बेनिफिट्स है, 7 साल कोई घर में रहो तो वो घर आपका हो गया, ठीक है। वैसे अगर आप यू आर डूइंग योर जॉब फॉर 10 ईयर्स और मोर देन दैट, then this job is yours, okay, so this is the
यस मैम।
main thing is that। तो गवर्नमेंट में क्राइटेरिया बहुत सारे, लेकिन कोई भी चीज नहीं मिल रहा तो केस करो, हो जाएगा, कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। ओके निकी?
यस मैम। यस मैम, थैंक यू मैम।
ओके, देन ग्रेचुटी क्या है, then directly come to about the general or contributory fund, so this is coming under the gratuity। ओके, सो ग्रेचुटी क्या होता है? अकॉर्डिंग टू डेफिनेशंस रूल 3 of the 1972 Central Civil Service Rules, the term pension includes gratuity except when the term pension is used for in constitutions to gratuity. Payment of gratuity Act 1972 provides for the payment of gratuity to employee with 5 years continuous services working in a factory, mines, oil fields, plantations and other establishment, including piece rate and seasonal workers where there are 10 or more employees। अच्छा, piece rate क्या होता है? पीस रेट और पीस मिल दोनों डिफरेंस है। व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ पीस रेट? पता है कुछ? पता है कुछ? नहीं पता है? अच्छा, कोई भी कंपनी में आप जॉब करते हो तो उसमें क्या होता है, जैसे आपकी कंसोलिडेटेड सैलरी हुआ, कोई कंपनी क्या होता है कंसोलिडेटेड सैलरी नहीं देते हैं, जैसे आप कितना यूनिट प्रोडक्शन करते हो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज पीस रेट। जैसे हमारा साइंटिफिक मैनेजमेंट एब्राहम टेलर का था, जिन्होंने लिखा था जो पीस रेट सिस्टम में आप अवेल करोगे, आप 20 प्रोड्यूस किया तो 20 मल्टीप्लाइड इनटू जितना एक आइटम का प्राइस है करके उतना आपका सैलरी हुआ, सो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज पीस रेट सिस्टम। ओके, सो ग्रेचुटी 1972 ग्रेचुटी क्या बोला है, दैट एम्प्लॉय जिसको 5 साल हो गया है कोई भी जॉब में, द एम्प्लॉय इज डूइंग द जॉब continuously for a period of 5 years or more, and it should be the mines, the oil fields, the plantations, and other establishment, then he can availing what the seasonal workers where there are 10 or more employees is there. So what do you mean by the seasonal workers? Workers means what? ये सारा जो छोटे छोटे डेफिनेशन है इनको इनको समझा करो, जब आप जॉब में रहते हो ना इसको पता होना चाहिए. सो सीजनल वर्कर्स क्या होता है, जैसे आपका 2 पीरियड होता है, जो इवेंट सीजन होता है, एक और सीजन होता है, एक होता है बूम सीजन होता है, जिसमें क्या होता है जब आपका हाई डिमांड होता है, तो ये इस टाइप के जो हाई डिमांड में क्या होता है एम्प्लॉयज ज्यादा लेते होते हैं. जब आपका ऑफ सीजन होता है तो एम्प्लॉय को क्या करते हैं, तो टर्नओवर कर देते हैं, निकाल देते हैं. तो वो टाइप ऑफ एम्प्लॉय क्या होता है जो ग्रेच्युटी को ये लोग क्या करते हैं, अवेल करते हैं. So for the purpose of calculating the period of employment, period of maternity leave are included provided that the total period of such maternity leave does not exceed the 12 weeks. अच्छा, आपको पता है 12 वीक्स का मतलब कहते हैं 3 महीने. ठीक है, तो टोटल आपका कोई भी गवर्नमेंटल जॉब में हो, तो गवर्नमेंटल जॉब या प्राइवेट जॉब में भी आपकी मैटरनिटी लीव देते हैं. ये जो 3 मंथ्स जो होता है, ये 3 मंथ्स आप डिलीवरी से 1 दिन पहले कर सकते हो या डिलीवरी के 2 महीने बाद भी ले सकते हो. तो उसमें क्या हो, टोटल 3 महीने आपको मिल सकता है. जैसे उसमें क्या होता है, आपका पूरा सैलरी आपको मिलेगा डिलीवरी पीरियड का, मतलब जितना आप सैलरी लेते हो वो 3 महीने का फुल पेमेंट आपको मिल जाएगा. Okay, so for calculating the period of employment, period of maternity leave are included provided that the total period of such maternity leave does not exceed the 12 weeks. Okay, 3 महीने आपको maternity leave मिलेगा. The payment of Gratuity Act 1972 is applicable to factory, mines, oil fields, plantations, ports, railway, motor transport, undertaking. ये लिखा है लेकिन गवर्नमेंटल सर्विसेज में भी मिलता है. Okay, the act provides for payment of a gratuity at the rate of 15 days wage for each complicated year of services, subject to a maximum rupees 2 lakhs. In the case of seasonal establishment, gratuity is payable at the rate of 7 days wage for each session. The act does not affect the right of an employee to receive better terms of gratuity under any award or agreement. ये सब कुछ नहीं होता है. 3 महीने का टोटल सैलरी आप लेके जाओ, मैटरनिटी लीव को अवेल करो. ये होता है हर एक जगह यही चलता है. ओके, देन मेडिकल अलाउंस. द मेडिकल अलाउंस क्या है आपको पता है, for pensions, for pensioners not covered by the central government health schemes, the fifth pay commission suggests a medical allowance of rupees 100 per month. It has also recommended a comprehensive medical scheme providing complete health insurance both to employee and pensions in non-CGHS area. Okay, CGHS means Central Government Health Services Area. अच्छा, मुझे एक बात बताओ, आप लोगों को मिलता है ये जो मेडिकल अलाउंस मिलता है? आप जो जॉब में जो लोग हो, आपको मिलता है? आप चाहो तो अनम्यूट करो या चाहो तो आप राइटिंग में लिखो.
मैडम सब
मिलता है?
अप्लाई करना पड़ता है मैडम, बिल के साथ.
हाँ, वो तो अदर चीज है. पर
वो
मंथ
मेडिकल
मतलब कंपल्सरी पर मंथ आपको क्या मिलता है, कितना
कुछ नहीं मिलता है मैडम.
मिलना तो चाहिए
वो
आपको,
शायद
जैसे HRA
डियरनेस,
मिलता है.
हाँ
हम्म,
डियरनेस अलाउंस में मिलके आता होगा, लेकिन कुछ अलग तो नहीं दिखाता है मैडम.
अलग नहीं दिखाता है.
नहीं
तो
मैडम.
आपको भी इसके अगेंस्ट में केस नहीं किया?
नहीं मैडम.
तो आप कंपनी को पूछा? आपका कंपनी का नाम क्या था बताओ?
कंपनी नहीं मैडम, गवर्नमेंट.
बताओ.
डिस्ट्रिक्ट सबऑर्डिनेट डिस्ट्रिक्ट जुडिशरी.
हम्म. अच्छा,
वही
ये सब एडवोकेट वाला
एडवोकेट नहीं मैडम, जजेस, मैजिस्ट्रेट.
जुडिशियल सिस्टम ना.
यस मैम.
अच्छा, तो उसमें तो रूल तो मतलब हर एक जगह में तो रूल एक है. आपका जैसे HRA, आप HRA अवेल करते हो निकी?
हाँ मैडम.
अच्छा, HRA करते हो तो ये लोग मेडिकल लीव नहीं देते हैं आपको, मतलब मेडिकल ये नहीं अलाउंस नहीं देते हैं.
नहीं मैडम.
मेडिकल अलाउंस जैसे आपका देखो आपका होता है, आप स्टेट गवर्नमेंट अंदर आते हो ना.
यस मैम, स्टेट अंडर, लेकिन हम लोग का डायरेक्ट हाई कोर्ट के अंडर हम लोग काम करते हैं.
अच्छा, आप एक बात बताओ, जब आप मेडिकल अलाउंस लेते हो, जैसे सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का एम्प्लॉय हुआ, तो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का एम्प्लॉय में क्या होता है, आपका मेडिकल अलाउंस आपका हुआ या नहीं हुआ, आपको बुखार हुआ ना हुआ कुछ भी नहीं, आपका परसेंटेज आप अवेल कर सकते हो. ठीक है, वो क्या होता है 100 टू आपका 500 रुपीज पर मंथ आप अवेल कर सकते हो. सेकंड चीज होता है जैसे आपका जो मेडिकल में क्या होता है, और एक चीज होता है, तो आप तो एक चीज और बोला जो बिल फिल वगैरह पेमेंट, जो कैश जो ये रिसीट वगैरह करो तो आपका वो चीज अवेल होता है, लेकिन इट इज शुड बी विदिन ए लिमिट, वो लिमिट क्रॉस नहीं होना चाहिए। स्टेट गवर्नमेंट में क्या होता है, आप कोई भी जैसे इंश्योरेंस कंपनी, मेडिकल इंश्योरेंस कंपनी के थ्रू से आपका जो मेडिकल अलाउंसेस को आप अवेल करते हो, लेकिन जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में ये चीज नहीं होता है। जितना भी आपका आप हो, आपका स्पाउस हुआ, आपका क्या मदर हुआ, जो भी हुआ, कोई भी मेडिकल प्रॉब्लम हुआ, द 100% अलाउंसेस गवर्नमेंट आपको देता है। सपोज एक ऑपरेशन हुआ, उसमें 2 लाख का खर्चा हुआ, तो पूरा 2 लाख का 2 लाख खर्चा आपकी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट उठाता है। लेकिन आपका स्टेट गवर्नमेंट क्या करता है, एक परसेंटेज ऑफ बेनिफिट्स दैट द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट इज प्रोवाइडिंग यू, नॉट द 100% ऑफ बेनिफिट दैट स्टेट गवर्नमेंट इज प्रोवाइडिंग। क्लियर? और इसमें क्या होता है, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट में क्या होता है, कोई चीज में मतलब कंपलसरी आपका कुछ अलाउंसेस नहीं मिलता है। सो जैसे सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में जैसे आपका जैसे क्या बोलते हैं, जैसे इंटरनेट, आपका टीवी, इंटरनेट, ये और बुक, इसमें से भी अलाउंसेस आता है, लेकिन
एंटरटेनमेंट अलाउंस बोलते हैं मैडम।
स्टेट गवर्नमेंट में नहीं है। तुम्हें स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ये मिलता है एंटरटेनमेंट में लाभ?
नहीं मैडम, नहीं मिलता है, वो सब बैंक वाले और सेंट्रल में ही मिलता है मैडम।
सेंट्रल में ही मिलता है। तो ये सब चीज का मुझे याद नहीं, शायद न्यूज़पेपर में भी इसमें इंक्लूड है, शायद ये 2500 होता है शायद, मुझे जितना याद है। ठीक है?
सब उनको मेड के लिए भी पैसा मिलता है मैडम।
नहीं 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 नहीं, मेड में नहीं मिलता है निकी, किसने तुम्हें
बैंक 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 सेक्टर में मैडम, हाउस
पता
हेल्प।
नहीं। ये तो मेरे हस्बैंड तो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट है, लेकिन मेड के लिए हमें नहीं मिलता है। मेड के लिए मिलता है
नहीं
तो
मैडम,
मेरी
वो बैंकिंग सेक्टर में मैडम।
मेड के लिए ले होता तो मैं ही मेड बन जाती, मैं ही ले लेती। क्योंकि क्योंकि इसमें क्या है ना, आपका अगर मेड को दिया तो उसमें क्या होता है, एक हर एक चीज में एक पर्ची आपको सबमिट करना पड़ता है। पर्ची समझ में आता है?
हाँ, बिल बिल देना पड़ता है
ऑफिशियल
मैडम।
बिल। ठीक है?
हाँ मैडम।
तो ये सब में आप ऑफिशियल बिल, मुझे पता नहीं बैंक में मिलता है, कोई बोला, मुझे तो रूमर्स लगता है ये चीज, क्योंकि ऑफिशियल बिल आप कहाँ लेके आओगे, आप बताओ।
नहीं मैडम, मिलता है वो। बैंक बैंक के पीओ पीओ
हम्म।
पीओ से स्टार्ट हो जाता है मैडम, हाउस हेल्प के अंडर उनको मिलता है अलाउंस।
अच्छा, तो ये सारे चीज आपका मेडिकल अलाउंसेस में आता है। नेक्स्ट होता है आपका वॉलंटियर रिटायरमेंट, ये तो आपको पता है, ये पढ़ाऊं इसको? वॉलंटियर बीआरएस, तो थोड़ा सा देख लेती हूँ बीआरएस के अंदर क्या होता है। Currently, we have a procedures for voluntary retirement in the context of economic liberations and the need for right seizing the governmental machinery. The questions of liberalizing the provisions of peasants' voluntary retirement scheme arose after considering thought and discussions. The Commission has evolved a two prolonged strategy on voluntary retirement as order. Retain the existing BRS as it is on a regular year round basis to take care of those who want to leave government services of their own volitions. Here, the assumption is that they have weighed the poor pros and cons of the decisions and have already lined up a job in all probability. For them, the normal provisions would be adequate. Evolve a new special short-term golden handshake scheme only for those who are identified by the government as surplus. Here, it is the government which is taking the painful decision of sending such employee to home. अच्छा, ये दोनों चीज दिखा जाएगा that the government is deciding that in advance that you are a surplus or you are a deficit in the sector. Suppose take one example is that in educational sector, so there is a deficit of faculty in educational sector. So if you want to give the VRS, voluntary retirement is not voluntary, but it depends upon the discretion of the government to take your resignations or not take your resignation. So this is called as that by the government is surplus. Here it is the government which is taking the painful decisions of sending such employee to home, although they may no fault of their the post so vacated by the incumbent shall be abolished. The persons identified the surplus would be entitled to the following benefits. क्या क्या मिलता है? पहला चीज, फुल commutations of pensions by surrender of the right to receive monthly pensions with an option to avail instead of commutations up to the limit prescribed for employee retiring on superannuations and to receive monthly pensions. Ex gratia amount of 1.5 months emoluments for each completed year of services, okay, or the remaining year of services left before the normal date of retirement whichever is lower. दोनों चीज, एक होता है 1.5 months emoluments, okay, pay plus DA for each completed year of services. हर साल में 1.5 months का emoluments आपको एक्स्ट्रा एड दिया जाएगा, और द रिमेनिंग ईयर ऑफ सर्विसेज लेफ्ट बिफोर द नॉर्मल डेट ऑफ रिटायरमेंट। जैसे आपको 5 साल से पहले आपने क्या हुआ, आपने रिटायरमेंट दे दिया, बीआरएस कर दिया, तो वो 5 साल के अंदर में क्या होता है, जितने भी आपका वो जो आपका जो डीए और आपका जो पे है वो आपको मिल जाएगा। उसके बाद आप पेंशन को आप अवेल करोगे। सपोज टेक वन एग्जांपल, 55 ईयर्स में मैंने रिटायरमेंट हो गई, तो 5 साल में जितना आपका जो सैलरी है आप घर में बैठ के उसको आप अवेल कर सकते हो। इसके बाद आप 60 के बाद आप उसको पेंशन आप अवेल करोगे। बट ये गवर्नमेंट डिसाइड करेगा कि आपको बीआरएस वो देगा या नहीं देगा। अगर बीआरएस देगा तो गवर्नमेंट का अगर बेनिफिट है तो आपको बीआरएस वो एक्सेप्ट करेगा, अगर गवर्नमेंट का बेनिफिट नहीं है तो वो आपका एक्सेप्ट नहीं। पहले ये क्या इजी प्रोसेस होता था, अभी नहीं हो रहा है। द वेट इज अलाउड, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट क्या करेगा, अभी दोनों को आपको सैलरी देना पड़ेगा। आप घर में बैठ के आप सैलरी लोगे और जो एम्प्लॉय आप ज्वाइन करेगा वो भी आपका सैलरी लेगा, तो उसमें क्या होता है, गवर्नमेंट का डेफिसिट, गवर्नमेंट का लॉस ज्यादा होता है। Then the employee shall be given an options to receive the amount of ex gratia and retirement gratuity either in lump sum or in the shape of monthly protections allowance। ये पूरा आपका मिल जाएगा, या आप इसको इंस्टॉलमेंट में भी गवर्नमेंट से आप ले सकते हो। सो दिस अलाउंस कुड बी हेल्प द एम्प्लॉय टू पुल ऑन ड्यूरिंग द पीरियड ऑफ ट्रांजिशंस बाय प्रोवाइडिंग हिम विद substantially monthly income sufficient to cater to his basic needs at least। Computations of pensions and retirement gratuity by allowing a weighing age of 5 years to the qualifying services on the date of relief, encashment of on-leave accumulated on the date of relief, payment of accumulations in the general provident fund, पीएफ के साथ आपका आपका सारा पीएफ में आपका चला जाएगा। Exemptions of pension benefit including ex gratia amount from income tax and wealth tax, okay। आपका कोई भी इनकम टैक्स आपके ऊपर नहीं लगेगा जब आपको पेंशन बेनिफिट्स आपको मिल जाएगा। द पर्पज ऑफ प्रोवाइडिंग पेंशन एंड अदर रिटायरमेंट बेनिफिट टू द एम्प्लॉई by the government is to ensure that during their services they work without the fear of apprehensions, मतलब बिना डर के काम किए हैं about meeting their old age requirement। A suitable compensation structure takes care of these material aspects of life both while you are in the job and later on। So nothing is that, the main objective is that the you are availing the your pension depending upon the discretion of the government, and if you are giving your BRS before the 5 years, then the government is decide that he has to give you the total salary while you are in your at your home, otherwise not। The third is that the after the age of 60 years only or 62, whatever the government age criteria, you are availing your pension, but not before that। If you are at the age of 55 and you are demanding that I was giving the VRS and I am now eligible for pension, but this is not this is not the scheme। The scheme is that the person is availing the pension scheme only after he or she is attaining the age of the 60। So this is all about your employee benefits and all about the performance appraisals। So in your examinations, the questions your comes that what are the different types and methods of the performance appraisals, and the what are the different types of benefits that the government has given to you। So this is nothing else. This is so easy। Not you can also take the help of your BSP Rao for management books, and BSP Rao is good one। Then your Ashok Thapa, then Keith Davis, Keith Davis, It's also good. You can also get all these things, the soft copy of everything from your laptop or from your mobile by downloading it. If you are not having any, if you are having facing any type of difficulties in IGNO, your e-Gyan course, then you can just take the help of the other books, just like BSP Rao, Ashwatha and Keith Davis. Keith Davis is too good. You can also go through these books. Okay, student. So today is your Sunday. Enjoy your day. If you are having any type of doubts, then accumulate all your doubts and ask me in my next class, that is in tomorrow at 5:30 to 7:30, I think so. 5:30 na, 5:30 to this is an additional class because I was not taking your class on 16th of Feb. So for this plan, for this thing, that I am adding this class in your schedule. Okay. Okay, good day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you to everyone. Go and enjoy.